Welcome to another how-to video. Hey, today we're down in the basement. Behind us here, you can see we've got our own well in our home, and we got a little problem. The switch right here, this switch, this is what turns your well on and off when the pressure gets low. It's supposed to come on at 40 PSI, it's supposed to shut off at 60 PSI. What's been happening here is it shuts off at 60, doesn't come on until 25. It's been gradually getting lower. Dirt, wear, who knows. You gotta remember this switch was put in, oh boy, I don't know, it's probably 30 years old at this point. So we're going to show you how to change out your wellhead switch. Remember, be safe here. If you don't think you can handle plumbing or electrical at 220 volts, don't mess with this project. But otherwise, sit back and enjoy and watch. Like and subscribe, you won't miss these kind of videos. Here's the tools we're going to use. Got our part. On the back of our part, you can see there's a nut there. I don't know if you can see that through the bag, but there you go. So we got a big wrench for that. We got a pipe wrench to hold the other one. We've got two ways to sense for voltage on the line. You gotta make sure the power's off. We got two types of screwdrivers depending on what kind of set screws are under the for the wires. And then we've got a roll of plumber's tape so that we can wrap so we seal. Very important that you put some type of plumber seal in there or the two pipes won't sit together. Here's the setup. There's the switch we're replacing. There's the threads. We have to unhook both of those electric. But the first thing we're going to do is make sure there's no voltage. Went to our breaker panel. Everybody's is different. Switch it. Look for the one that's marked well. Shut it off. All right, now let's check for power. Have two types of power checking. This one is battery powered. You turn it, you turn the handle to turn it on, and you bring it up here and you see if you got power. And it looked like you got power there still. All right. The second style I have is like this. You push this and it clicks, and then you can see there, right? You put it here, nothing because the pipe shields it. You can see how you got power here. All right, you come down here and see you got no power in there. So let's take this cover off. All right, see we got no power here, no power there, we got no power here because we're off over there. Let's take that cover off and see if we got any power underneath. 3/8 wrench for this part. Took the cover off, you can see all the electric. Again, no power here. No power here. You can check your tools work by putting them over here. So, two ways to check. No power. Remember, this always goes off when you first hit it. All right, so there we go. Power's off. Pressure right now is down to a little bit above 25. So we got to go drain the house. All right. Once we drain the house, we'll be able to shut this valve off so the house doesn't drain down when we open the hole. Be back in a few when the water's drained. Hey, so one thing you want to do here is let's not change the polarity. Now this is AC current, so it shouldn't matter, but we got an old well head and everything. We want to make sure we keep everything the same. So you can see you got the well wires going down here. Red is on the left, black is on the right. So what we're going to do is just take a piece of tape, put it up here, like this. Red is right to well. Oh, we got that one down. Now, both these other ones are both black, all right? So what we're gonna have to do there is mark down which is which. So we're just gonna do it like this. Call this right. Call this left. This way, when we put it on the wire, we'll see it. So we're done with that part. We've confirmed, once again, always double check this part. There's no power here, okay? This would be screaming if there was power here. So we got to go lower our gauge now, and then we'll shut off this valve up here from the house so the house doesn't siphon back down when we take that off. So that's what we're going to go do. We'll be back when the water's drained. All right, blade screwdriver. I'm gonna unhook the well side first to get it clearer. So you gotta loosen these screws. All right, this collar needs to be pushed counterclockwise to get this stuff loose. You also see there's a ground wire back here, so you have to take the ground wire loose. I tell you what I'm gonna do, I need some more light, so we're gonna get a better, brighter light in here. That's a little better. So now we've got our wires for that. The well head loose. We'll bring them, straighten them out. And pull this out. It's a little difficult to get the wires out. I should have done the other side first because it looks like we did that one first. Don't lose these. All right, so that's that one. That's the power that goes out to the well. Now we get the other one. The first thing you want to do is make sure you mark the left. Like this. And we're going to mark the right. That. Keep in mind the position of these might change, but when we tighten the new one it might be the other way over because you can't back these things off, pipe fittings, when you tighten them. Lose it. Done with our screwdriver for a little while. I'm going to pull this out. So you pull this out. Try not to knock your wire legs off. All right, open your new one. Best to do this before you even start. Make sure it's the same. Adjustment instructions, don't lose them. And there you go. You can see we've got the exact same thing here. Gonna have to use this ground wire again, and we'll loosen that later. But you can see how these go. You just tuck the wires in. This is fairly easy to install. The key is we gotta get this one off. So the first thing you gotta do, close your house water valve. If you leave this open, the house is gonna siphon down when you take that open, and that's not gonna be a good thing because the whole house has got to drain before you can work. All right. I have another valve down here where I can open this up. And you can see, I got no water. I got no water there, and everything looks good at this point, okay? So at this point, we have to take that off. It'll be counterclockwise to take it off. The key here is you don't want to lose this pipe. So you've got to have a pipe wrench. Once that's loose like a turn, you should be able to turn this by hand. Get this out of the way. You can see now we're getting a little more drainage. So there you go. The old one is out. All right. It's hard for you to see, but I can look in there and see this is really corroded. So we're going to set that on the floor. Now we got a new one. So the first thing we're going to do up here, we're going to put a little plumber's tape on here, but we want to make sure we're going to clean this out with a Q-tip. So we'll be right back. We're going to try to clean this out a little. There's a lot of dust, a lot of junk in there. What we can do is close this valve, open this one a little bit. Yeah, just a minute, wait. So what we can do is we can run a hose like this into here. Just leave it on a minute. And let that drain back down. Now we take the pipe wrench off because we know the pipe wrench is in the wrong direction. The pipe wrench has got to be this way when we tighten this back. All right. Plumber's tape. All right. When you put this on, you're going to turn it like this to spin it on. So when you wrap your tape, you want to make sure you're wrapped the same way so the tape doesn't come loose. And there you go. A couple wraps of that. Now we're going to put this on. I think we're going to put it on. There we go. And when you put it on, you can see that tape just kind of go into the threads. All right. It's pretty tight. We're going to go around one more turn so it's good and tight. You don't have to over tighten these. You don't want to crack anything. And maybe we'll go one more turn. You can kind of feel it snug up as if it's close. There you feel it's getting pretty snug now. All right. Switch is in. Unfortunately, there's absolutely no way to test it really for leaks because we don't have any pressure left in the house. So we're just going to know when we turn it on. From here, we're going to put our wires back in. Everybody's fuse panel is different. You can see mine says well on number 1. There's number 1 that I got off. Well heads on. All right, now we're watching that gauge come up. The gauge is going to sit about there till the tank gets near full. See, she's still creeping up. There we go. Very good. All right, now we got to bleed the water down and see where she kicks. All right, we can hear the water flowing. We know the water's on upstairs, and we're letting it go down. All right, we win. Came on right at 40 PSI. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. There you go. We replaced our wellhead switch. You can do it too yourself. One, be safe with electric, be safe with water. If you don't know how to turn stuff, you're not a handyman, don't recommend this. That's 240 volts. You mess up, you're dead, all right? So be careful. Be safe out there. Our problem's fixed, and we're gonna go have some breakfast. One thing we did do is we kept our old switch there. We know it runs the wellhead. If something goes wrong with the contactors, we just know that water goes down to a trickle before it kicks on. Like and subscribe. See you in the next video.